Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to 6 News. Today we are taking a final look at Consulate before the rework effectively deletes it, as this map will be gone. So I want to save it in a little kind of time capsule on the video, and I do this, or at least I try to, for everything that gets kind of removed from Siege over time, so that we have a way of looking back at it. So there is a dedicated archive playlist on this channel that is all about the stuff that is gone, basically. So here we are. This is Consulate. I'm gonna miss this spawn, by the way. Don't know what it is, it's just walking past this fire on the way in. It's a nice atmosphere to it. Now I'll have to say, this is not the original Consulate. So the original one actually had some different areas, like this was not quite the way it is here. It got tweaked a little bit with what was called a map buff. They don't do them anymore, but it was just like a not so big map rework. A tiny one, basically. And this was the result, which is mostly the same, but not exact. Now, I'm going to take a look at the garage, because this is it. This is the most important part for me, because I had so many freaking good fights here. Just absolutely loved it. It was tremendous. Now, I do get it, the developers and probably the pros and probably high rank people do think it's a bit repetitive. It's mostly, you know, the same tactics over and over again. But I'm quite repetitive. I actually love it when I can do the same stuff over and over, even if it's not good. If it's just fun for me, I love doing it. Oh, gonna miss it. Gonna miss this garage a lot. It's just not gonna be the same anymore with the new one, for sure. And I remember my kind of tactics in here changed over time. I used to come in and fuse. That was my kind of dedicated thing I always used to do. I could do that for years. Recently, last season, I came here with a zero rework and I was popping my cameras through the roof, shooting bandit batteries and Kaid electrocross. Loved it. And when Kaid came out, I used to always set up down here. I died many a time to fuse, but I would set up down here, watching this door and putting my Kaids on the wall here, and I'd watch the camera up there, and when it got taken out, I'd roughly know how long it would take for the attackers to get here. Then I would throw it on just to take their charges out. Loved it. So I'm gonna miss, you know, holding this down. On defense, I'm gonna, you know, absolutely hate that I can't attack it the same way either. But I am happy that there is actually a garage in a new one. It's not gonna be the same, but at least it's there, and we'll see what kind of tactics we can make up for it in the future. But yeah, this used to be. I'm already saying used to be, and this, when I'm recording this, obviously this map is still live. I can play it in ranked right now. But when the video goes live, it'll be gone. And these big corridors, like this is a big corridor for Siege, but man, the new one has even bigger corridors. Like long as hell. This was always fun in the, you know, servers as well. I used to try and come down here behind the attackers when I was roaming. Loved that. I think I remember busting in here a lot back in like the first couple of years when there was like a hostage in here somewhere and you'd be fighting with people here. This got modified as well, I think, in the map buff. I think it was a lot smaller originally. And you used to also have big firefights in here. A lot of fun. That was kind of way back in like the 1 or 2 years. I haven't played Hostage in a long time now. This room always seemed a bit useless though. Never really managed to use it in any good way. Same with this room, it always kind of felt like it was you never really had to worry about it. There's like not like there was someone hiding in here usually. And then this quite large corridor with a lot of different connection points. So coming down here as an attacker, whether you're coming down that corridor or coming down the stairs, always a problem. Like you got so many angles to cover. But this used to be one of the best ways to actually come in and take over this site. But yeah, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna look again. I'm gonna look one last time. Oh yeah, we got the radio too. We do have the radio in the new one. Slightly different location, but it's still there. Same music. Yeah, I'm gonna miss this a lot. It's good to be able to reminisce before it goes. Right, let's head upstairs. This used to be quite an interesting corridor. I never had too many firefights in this staircase, but every so often there would be one, and I don't think I ever won a firefight in this goddamn corridor. Maybe one or two. This was another quite a big highlight for me. Obviously, bomb site right here. This used to be kind of a terrible site right next to the doors and the windows and everything. I used to love hiding in here as a defender. I'd reinforce the floor. It was a dumb idea, but I loved just kind of like getting stuck in that corner there. And then obviously quite a lot of firefights went on here. You got the hatches downstairs as well. Used to fuse in like year 1 and 2. For this game I'd fuse all of this stuff if I could. And then when Fuse was able to do reinforced stuff and actually bust through it with his fuse charge, he was an even bigger pick for me back then too. But he was too vulnerable, so I always ended up going with someone else eventually. Look at this. And this feels so much simpler than the rework now. The rework is complex as hell. Lots of rooms. That thing is like twice the size. A lot more to it. Good old central staircase here. I think I never used that skylight once. I used to sometimes peek in there like in the first couple of years, but wasn't really worth it. This of course got actually made into like a bomb site with the map buff. Oh, here's our hostage. And it got split over 2 levels. Even the new one has a split over 2 levels. Still don't like it, but they've kept that in. Used to love fighting around these hatches. I would love taking that hatch out, taking anyone out coming in here. And if they did successfully come in and bust through here, I loved coming in behind them. Brilliant. And I spent many a time camping behind here too. Alright. I guess we'll go up. I'm going to go up yellow stairs instead of the circle right now. Go to another one of my favourite rooms to fight in. This was quite action-packed back in the day too. Lots of fights with this skylight. There used to be tons of people would actually rappel down here. Crazy amount back in the day. Like, pretty much no one does that anymore. Completely unheard of. Definitely, I think it was due to the speed of the game back then. It was definitely a lot slower. But this is... I'm going to miss this. Because the new room is so much more boring, I think. It's got one window. It's got like fully solid walls around it in an L shape. And a little bit here. It's just not going to be interesting, I think. This was a heck of a room. Constantly fighting attackers on these windows. I used to camp here with Jaeger. Reinforce this. And try and hold the windows. That was kind of my thing when I'd solo queue. And of course, bomb site right here. If they did get in and start defusing, you'd have big firefights all the way through. Loved it. Really good battles in here. Just lots of different potentials in this whole area. This is... I think this is, unfortunately... I would say this is better than the new bomb sites, I think, this one. Just lots of opportunities to do all kinds of cool stuff. Moving through, we've got this. And we've got our balcony. This was my top area to attack in. Always repelled down here, shot in the windows, put claymores here. And I'd repel upside down, try and pick off anyone before moving in. Usually die coming in because there's a lot of potentials for defenders to just take you out as soon as you vault in. But it was always a ton of fun. And yeah, this was my main attack on upstairs. Always try and get in here, secure this room. Now, when I was playing with Capcan, which I played a lot of, I'd always put 3 Capcans here. Which got me a lot of kills over the years. And I'd put 2 Capcans here. And it was usual that I'd get at least 1 Capcan kill out of it. But sometimes the teams were wise enough to look. I don't know about this here. I think this is definitely an upgrade in the new map. This is just kind of boring, I think, in here. This room is actually too open, even though it's got all this kind of soft cover. It's just not as good. Like, I think the new one is actually sweet as hell with its sightlines, so I think it's going to be way more interesting. This, a little bit on the boring side, but I did always enjoy coming up here and popping this hatch and watching what was going on below. And this is a big corridor, but actually in the new one, the corridors are even bigger. This feels small now compared to it. But yeah, what a map. I'm gonna miss it, 100%. Right, let's have a little walk outside, shall we? I never really took a good look at the outside. My spawn points were either here or the one over there, and that was pretty much it for where I'd spawn. So like all of this is just kind of just useless nice looking stuff, I guess. Like I wonder if there was ever an attacker who actually came and like sat behind this cover. And look at this. They said that this map was so old that it was like on the old system, so it was hard to fix anything. So I assume they just couldn't fix this. And really, why bother? Because it doesn't actually impact gameplay whatsoever. Can I get on this? Can I vault onto it? No, I cannot. Yeah, this is just totally broken. But that's it. No one ever, like, there's literally no reason to be out here. This whole area. I don't think I've ever stepped here in my goddamn life. Ever before. Used to spawn here and run over and then rappel up that wall. That's pretty much it. Maybe sometimes come this way. I actually had quite a few fights here. When it was the split bomb site, which was rare. Sit here. I guess this was okay for me taking out a few roamers as well that were moving around the map, but not that brilliant or anything. Anyway, let's continue our outside tour now. So yeah, this is probably my #1 spawn point. Relatively safe. They made it safer because this used to be way open back in the day. They added a lot more cover in. And yeah, I can tell, just by looking at it from here, the size of this building, it is so much larger. Like, I'm pretty sure it's twice as wide now in the rework. I think rework maps always get bigger by a big chunk. We should even take a look at the skyline, because the skyline has actually changed as well. And you know what? I never really realized if I had to imagine this, I would imagine this just being a single road. Never realized it was this much space back here. Again, you would never need this, would you? Could never imagine anyone being back here. And this was always, I think, the worst spawn point. I always seen at least one teammate get killed from here. Alright, let's head to the roof, have a look around. Because of course we gotta take everything in. Oh yeah, here's another thing that's changed. So these boxes are the way up here, whereas now it's ladders. I'm not a big fan of ladders. I would have actually preferred a ramp, to be honest, or maybe just some stairs. I wonder if it has actually changed or if it's just more visible. Because now that I look at it, it's possible that it's actually very similar. What is that? Is that? Oh, that's the crane's hook. Honestly, not bad. You can tell that obviously the detail goes down considerably, but like, it's not a bad skyline that someone had made many years ago. Alright, let's go in the front door. We'll have one quick little spin around the whole place. I'm gonna miss fights with that. Like, this is it. Things like this are gone, you know? The circle bench. Circle desk even. Gonna miss it. And this just feels so simple compared to the map we're getting. It is way simpler. I need to go down here and just have a look at this again. Gonna miss you, old garage.